Are our property taxes going to go up? Is that where you draw some of your funding from?
I wouldn't want to predict if property taxes are going to go up. There's a complicated formula in the state of Minnesota on calculating property taxes. This is the last year that limited market value is going to be used for producing property taxes. Now, I don't want to go into a long, drawn-out discussion on that particular issue because it is long and drawn out, to be honest. But the property taxes that you pay are based on the budget that the 5 county commissioners come up with, which are based on the recommendations from our department heads on what funding they feel they need. And then we go through a process of saying, do you truly need it or don't you truly need it? Where can we cut is what we usually ask. And that's a process that usually starts in June or July and goes through September 15th, I believe, which is the day that we have to have a preliminary budget and a preliminary levy, which is what we're going to charge the county in property taxes to the state. And then by the end of December, we have to have a final budget, which can be any number, but the levy that we use for property taxes can only be the levy that was set in September or lower. And in past years, we have set higher levies at our September deadline, and then we have lowered it by a little or a lot, depending on the year since I've been on the board. But the property taxes that you pay are based on the budget that we approved in December. And then they're distributed through a formula. And in some years, your property taxes may go up while someone else's may go down with the same kind of property, and you can't figure out why. There's a reason, and I'm not going to try to explain it to you, but they made that happen.
So you're saying the final decision of raising property taxes is not with your board, it's with the state?
It's not raising property taxes, it's how the taxes get distributed. And that formula is based on what the state statute says and what the state formula is for putting that number in. So they take, let's just say we have a $20 billion budget. That's what we decide we need. We have some revenues that bring that down. About half of that comes from outside revenues, either federal or grants or other kinds of revenues, okay? And so we end up with a $10 million budget. That number is distributed to all property owners based on a formula that includes what your assessed value is. In the past, 5 years ago, there were 2 numbers that you got on your property tax statement: a limited market value and an estimated market value. The estimated market value is what the assessor believes your property is worth based on his research. The limited market value was a number that was lower than that could only approach your assessed market value by 1% every year. It was a set percent until about 9 years ago. And then the legislature 9 years ago said, we don't want them. What it did was it made new home builders, people that bought or built new homes, pay a larger percent of the tax than the people that had been here for 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. Because they had a limit, they had a number on their property, an assessed value, and that could only approach their estimated market value at such and such a percent. 9 or 10 years ago, somewhere in that neighborhood, legislature said we're going to eliminate the limited market value. And in recent years, that's affected those people that have lived in their homes for a long time, that have older homes that they haven't done anything to. But because we had such an increase in our estimated market values in this county in the 2002 to 2006 time period, that limited market value, as it got crept up on those people that had those older homes a lot faster than it did anything to the people that built the homes. So that's affected a lot of people. A ton of people have had problems with that change to everybody paying an estimated market value.